How do you create improvement every single day, no matter what? That's the true question. Because life doesn't wait for the right moment. It doesn't ask if you're ready. It doesn't care if you're weary, unmotivated, or unsure. Life moves, with or without you. And the key to genuine success, to real fulfillment, is making sure you move with it. Now, progress doesn't have to be tremendous. It doesn't need to be fancy. It doesn't even have to be visible to anyone but you. But it must be consistent, a little bit every day. Because the largest transformations in life don't come from one huge decision or one lucky break. They come from little repeated disciplines compounded over time. Most folks are waiting for motivation to strike, waiting for the proper time, waiting till they are ready. But here's the truth: motivation is unreliable. The right time rarely shows up, and feeling ready, that's a myth. The most successful people in the world didn't have perfect conditions. They made progress despite them. How do you stay going when you're exhausted? When life is heavy? When results aren't coming up as fast as you want? That's what we're diving into. Not theory, not wishful thinking, but genuine, practical techniques to make sure you acquire something from every single day. Because at the end of the day, growth is a decision. And once you grasp how it works, if you learn how to create momentum every day, nothing can stop you. Progress starts with one simple shift: you must quit negotiating with yourself. Most people get up and instantly start bartering with their own brains. Should I get up now or hit snooze? Should I go to the gym or skip today? Should I work on my goals or can it wait? Here's the problems. When you give yourself an option, you give yourself an excuse. Discipline isn't about feeling like doing it. It's about committing and following through. Successful people don't waste time wondering whether or not they should act. They just do. Because when you start your day negotiating, you lose. The mind will always select the easy way. It craves comfort over exertion. That's why motivation can't be your fuel. Here's the secret: the first decision of the day sets the tone for everything else. Win the morning and you gain momentum. If you lose the morning, it's simpler to manufacture excuses all day long. So how can you take charge of the entire day? You take control by declaring your standards non-negotiable, not optional, not contingent on how you feel. It's just what you do. You wake up at the time you said you would. You move your body, even when you don't feel like it. You work on your goals, even while no one's watching. Over time, this produces something powerful: self-respect. See, confidence isn't about talent. It's not about luck. It's about trust. Do you trust yourself to follow through? Most people don't. They've violated so many vows to themselves, they've stopped trusting their own words. But here's the good news: you can rebuild that trust. Every time you keep your word, even in the tiniest way, you prove to yourself that you mean what you say. Now let's talk about something that destroys progress faster than anything else: the all or nothing mindset. This is the belief that if you can't do something flawlessly, you shouldn't try it at all. It's dangerous because life is messy, circumstances shift, and if your success depends on perfection, you're setting yourself up to fail. Here's the secret to daily progress: something is always better than nothing. If you don't have time for a full workout, do 10 minutes. If you can't read for an hour, read for 5. If you don't feel like working on your business, send one email. Progress is about motion, and even a single step keeps you moving forward. If you improve by merely 1% per day, in a year, you won't be 365% better, you'll be over 37 times better. That's the power of daily improvement. Small things pile up, and eventually they form something unstoppable. Now, there's one more item that's vital to make improvement every day: you have to regulate your focus. Because what you focus on increases. Most people waste time worrying about things they can't control. They focus on what's missing. They focus on what's wrong. And where does that energy go? Nowhere. But those who make progress, no matter what, they focus on what they can do, what's possible. They focus their attention on action, not issues. So ask yourself, what are you focusing on every day? Are you concentrated on what you can't do, or are you searching for methods to move forward? Because development isn't about luck, it's about choosing. There's something tremendous about motion. Once you start moving, it gets easier to keep moving. Once you break through opposition, you realize it was never as huge as you thought. The problem is, most people never reach that breakthrough moment because they allow hesitation sneak in. Hesitation is a murderer. It doesn't simply slow you down, it utterly stops you. Think about the times you hesitated in life. Maybe you wanted to speak up, but you waited too long and the moment passed. Maybe you wanted to take action, but you second-guessed yourself, and suddenly the opportunity was gone. Progress demands decisiveness. Not flawless decisions, just decisions. You don't need all the answers to move on. You just need to take the next step, and the greatest approach to beat hesitation. Shorten the gap between idea and action. Here's what I mean: the longer you think about doing something, the more likely you are to talk yourself out of it. So quit giving yourself time to overanalyze. If you decide you're going to do something, do it quickly. Count down from 5 and move. Don't wait for the perfect time. Don't let dread slip in. Just go. Because here's the truth: action builds confidence, not the other way around. Most people assume they need to feel secure before they act, but confidence comes from action. The more you do anything, the better you get, and the better you get, the more assured you feel. So if you want to make progress every day, you have to train yourself to act despite fear. You have to grow comfortable being uncomfortable, because everything you want in life lives on the other side of discomfort. Think about a rocket launching into space. It burns the most fuel in the first few minutes, breaking through the atmosphere. But once it's past that stage, it travels effortlessly. That's how progress works. The hardest part is getting started. Once you push past the initial obstacle, things get simpler. And that's why discipline is so important, because discipline carries you when motivation disappears. Motivation is like a spark. It gets things rolling, but it's not enough to keep things blazing. Discipline is the driving force that keeps the flame blazing. So how do you acquire discipline? By maintaining pledges to yourself and doing the tough things, even when you don't feel like it. Every time you push through difficulty, you gain stronger. You train your mind to stay devoted, regardless of the circumstances. Here's the key: discipline is forged via repetition. The more you do something, the easier it gets. The first time you wake up early is tough. The 10th time it becomes easier. And by the 100th time, it's automatic. But what happens when you don't feel like doing something? When your energy is gone or distractions come your way? That's when it's vital to divorce emotion from your actions. Most people let their emotions to govern their decisions. If they don't feel like working out, they skip it. If they don't feel like pursuing their ambitions, they procrastinate. But successful individuals don't behave based on feelings. They act based on commitment. This involves showing up whether you feel like it or not, completing the work whether it's convenient or not, and taking the next step, even if the conditions aren't ideal. At the end of the day, feelings are temporary, they come and go. Results, however, come from consistency. Consistency is about doing the correct things every day. So ask yourself, what tiny action can you take now, right now, that takes you closer to your goal? Progress isn't a one-time event, it's a habit. Progress isn't about speed, it's about direction. Most individuals think they need to make enormous leaps to be successful, that they need to alter everything overnight. But that's not how true progress works. True growth comes in little, persistent stages. Here's the challenge: we live in a world that praises rapid results. People desire shortcuts, the magic recipe, and to attain results without putting in the work. Because of this, individuals miss out on the power of daily, continuous improvement. But think about this: if you get just 1% better every day, your results will compound. You won't just improve slightly, you'll improve dramatically. That's how mastery is achieved. Now, let's address something that keeps people back: overcomplicating things. Many people never make progress because they overthink every step. They think, prepare, and research incessantly but never take action. Many tell themselves they need the right strategy, the perfect timing, or the perfect conditions. But perfection is a trap. It keeps you stuck. Success isn't about knowing everything, it's about taking action with what you know right now. Clarity comes via movement. The more steps you take, the clearer the road becomes. Think about driving at night. The headlights only expose a few feet ahead, but that's enough to keep going. You don't need to see the full path, you simply need to see the next step. Now let's get practical. To achieve progress every day, you need a clear aim. Most people don't lack discipline, they lack direction. They wake up each day without a clear concept of what they're working toward. They drift. And floating leads nowhere. You must create explicit, quantifiable goals, not hazy thoughts or wishes. Clear. Instead of stating, I want to get in shape, say, I will exercise for 30 minutes every day. Instead of saying, I want to be successful, say, I will make 5 sales calls today. Specific goals offer you direction, and direction produces momentum. Now, here's something powerful: tracking your progress. What gets measured gets improved. If you don't track your actions, you won't know if you're improving. Here's the trick: Focus on tracking your effort, not simply the outcome. You can't always control results, but you can manage your daily actions. Let's pretend you're creating a business. You can't control how many customers say yes, but you can manage how many individuals you reach out to. If you focus on consistent activity, the results will follow. Now, let's talk about your environment. It plays a major impact in your progress. Most people don't fail because they lack willpower. They fail because they're surrounded by distractions, pessimism, and excuses. If you're continually around folks who complain, you'll start whining. If your environment is full with clutter, your mind will be congested. You must build an environment that drives you toward progress. If you want to be healthier, stock your kitchen with nutritious meals. If you want to read more, put books in visible spots. If you want to stay concentrated, remove distractions from your desk. Set yourself up to win. Finally, let's talk about resilience. No matter how diligent you are, no matter how well you plan, life will test you. There will be setbacks, disappointments, and days when nothing goes as planned. The trick is this: don't allow a single bad day turn into a horrible week. Don't allow a tiny setback to make you stop. If you miss one workout, don't miss the next. If you get off track, get back on immediately. Progress isn't about never failing, it's about never getting stuck. Every day, you have a choice: will I move forward or will I stay still? The people that win in life are the ones who keep moving no matter what. Progress isn't just about taking action. You can work hard every single day, but if you're moving in the wrong direction, you won't attain your goal. Picture someone paddling a boat with all their might but heading upstream against the current. They're wary but making no meaningful headway. So, here's the question: are your daily behaviors connected with your ultimate goals? Many people stay busy but don't truly get much done. They check off tasks and keep themselves occupied, but they don't move forward. Progress isn't just about doing more. It's about doing what counts. How do you ensure your actions are aligned? You need to establish the habit of reflection. Most people don't pause to think. They simply proceed from one task to the next, from one day to another, without ever asking themselves, am I going in the right direction? But the most successful people take time to reflect, because without measuring your progress, how can you know if you're on track? Think about a pilot flying a plane. They don't just set the route and forget it. They're continuously watching their equipment, making adjustments for wind, turbulence, and unforeseen changes. You must do the same in your life. Now, let's tackle one of the most underappreciated areas of progress: energy management. You can have the correct mindset, the best approach, and the most solid routines, but if your energy is low, everything will feel much tougher. Many people assume time management is the key to success, but time is useless if you don't have the energy to make it work. So ask yourself, what gives me energy? What drains me? Pay attention to your habits, your diet, your sleep, and your exercise. These things matter. You can't expect to perform at your best if you're continuously operating on empty. If you're feeling continually sluggish and preoccupied, it's time to address that first. Small modifications can make a tremendous difference. Simple things like drinking more water, moving your body, and getting enough rest may sound fundamental, but they directly affect your ability to focus, work, and make progress every day. One often ignored aspect is mental energy. You must safeguard your thoughts just like you preserve your time. Negativity, doubt, and diversions will sap you faster than nearly anything else. Who are you listening to every day? What kind of conversations are you engaging in? What thoughts are you feeding your mind? Here's the truth. Your surroundings doesn't only influence your productivity, it molds your beliefs. If you surround yourself with individuals who make excuses, you'll start making excuses. If you're continuously absorbing negativity, you'll learn to view the world through that lens. Guard your energies. Be intentional about what you allow into your head. Lastly, let's discuss patience. One of the biggest hurdles to success is frustration. Many people quit too quickly because they don't see immediate benefits. But success is seldom instant. Think of a bamboo tree. You plant the seed, you water it, you nurture it, and for years, nothing seems to happen. But underground, the roots are spreading, the foundation is being laid. Then, suddenly, one day, it shoots up, growing swiftly. This is how progress works. You may not notice quick results, but if you stay consistent, breakthroughs will come. Don't be discouraged if things aren't occurring as soon as you'd want. Keep going, because each single step you take is adding to something bigger than you can see right now. Every day, you have a choice to stay the same or go forward. The ones who succeed are those who choose improvement every single day. Progress isn't a destination, it's a way of life. Many assume they'll only be happy once they attain their goals, once they have the success, the money. But here's the truth: fulfillment doesn't come from achieving a destination. It arises from the process of growth. If you're not growing, you're stagnating. If you're not moving forward, you're falling behind. This is why daily development is so important. It keeps you alive, not only physically, but psychologically and spiritually. Now, let's talk about something that divides individuals who consistently progress from those who stay stuck: standards. Your standards control your existence. What you accept, what you tolerate, and what you expect from yourself all shape your reality. Most people fail to advance because they set their standards too low. They tolerate inconsistencies, accept excuses, and allow themselves to settle. But the people who grow every day, they raise their standards. They don't settle for simply doing enough. They don't settle for half-hearted efforts. They demand perfection from themselves, not because someone else is watching, but because that's who they choose to be. So ask yourself, what are your standards? Are you holding yourself to a level of discipline, focus, and effort that will lead to true growth? Or are you creating excuses because at the end of the day, your results will never exceed your standards? Now, here's something just as crucial as effort: rest. This can appear contradictory. How can resting help you progress? But here's the truth: you cannot sustain high performance without recovery. Progress isn't about straining yourself into fatigue. It's about sustainable effort. It's about understanding when to push and when to recharge. If you burn yourself out, you stop making progress. Constant tiredness decreases your productivity and breaks down your physique. So, make time for rest. Make time to reset, not as an excuse to be lazy, but as a strategy to go further. Think of it like an athlete practicing for competition. They don't exercise at maximum intensity every single day. They have recuperation times because they know the body develops stronger during rest. Your thoughts and energy work the same way. Build deliberate rest into your life. Take care of your mind, body, and energy, because advancement is not a sprint, it's a marathon. Now, let's talk about something that will raise your progress even more: giving back. One of the fastest ways to grow is by helping someone else grow, by imparting what you've learned, by raising someone else up. Because progress isn't just about you, it's about effect. It's about contribution. The more you give, the more you grow. Think of a candle lighting another candle. It doesn't lose anything, it merely creates more light. That's what occurs when you share your knowledge, your experiences, and your wisdom. Here's something interesting: teaching something encourages you to master it. It increases your comprehension and makes you better. So when you focus on making progress every day, don't just think about what you're gaining, think about what you're giving, since that's where real fulfillment lies. Now let's examine the most important mindset for everlasting progress: appreciation. Most individuals focus so much on what they don't have that they fail to appreciate what they do. When you're continuously focusing on what's missing, it might make you feel like you're never enough. But appreciation transforms everything. It shifts your focus, helping you understand exactly how much you've evolved. Every day, take a time to recognize your progress, even if it's tiny or not where you want it to be yet. When you're appreciative for what you've achieved, it generates the mindset to keep pushing forward. So, here's the bottom line: progress is not about luck. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about making a decision every single day to move forward. Not correctly, not instantaneously, but continuously. If you commit to improving just a little bit every day, your life will shift in ways you never imagined imaginable. In the end, growth is a choice made constantly, not simply when you feel like it. Life doesn't wait for you to be ready, it moves, whether you do or not. And the individuals who succeed, the ones who grow, the ones who build exceptional lives, don't wait for permission. They don't wait for incentive. They decide, they act. They keep marching forward, no matter what. Now let's be real: some days will be easy. You'll wake up invigorated, focused, and motivated, ready to attack the world. But what about the other days? What about the days when you feel drained? When life feels hectic and results aren't arriving quickly enough, it's natural to question if it's worth it. But those are the times that genuinely matter. Anyone can push forward when things are easy. What sets the successful apart from the unsuccessful is the ability to keep going when it becomes tough, when you don't feel like it, when no one is watching, and when progress feels slow. That's when your character is forged. That's when momentum begins to build. That's when your future takes shape. Here's the truth: you don't ascend to the level of your ambitions, you fall to the level of your habits. If your habits are based on excuses, inconsistency, or waiting for the ideal moment, you'll never attain your ultimate potential. But if your habits are rooted in discipline, consistency, and a commitment to everyday progress, you'll become unstoppable. Because advancement isn't about speed, it's about direction. Even a modest step forward is still progress, and those small steps add up. Ask yourself, what's one thing you can do today, right now, to go forward? Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Because the reality is, you don't need another inspiring talk. You don't need to read another book or watch another video before you start. You already know what you need to do. The only question is, will you do it? The only way to fail is to quit. So don't stop, not today, not ever. Keep going forward every single day, no matter what. Your future is waiting.